Okay, so I barely ever really have time to glaze Transformers, but I thought I would make like a little special video just because Lugnut here is my favorite Transformer figure of all time, and that includes probably the customs I've made that I'm also like deeply in love with. This guy here is special to me because I remember back around, it was around the Revenge of the Fallen era, where Hasbro was like truly popping off with a whole bunch of designs. Well, Hasbro or Takara, I'm not really sure, but everything was just really cool looking and innovative, and when this figure here was announced, I was so hyped for it. I remember looking up Puce or PR. I never really understood how you pronounce his name, but his video in anticipation for the figure, and when I got him in hand, it was just love at first sight. He is perfect. This is the perfect Lugnut figure. So the character originally hails from Transformers Animated, which is kind of a weird show from like a first look because the designs are really weird. Everything is very rounded and kind of non-Transformers like, and everyone has a gigantic chin, but it's one of those cases where the writing is just so good that you can kind of forgive the art style for initially turning you a bit off if you think it looks a bit too kiddie. And Lugnut here was my favorite character in the entire show, second being Shockwave. But Lugnut is the kind of trope that I really enjoy. He's just like a big, kind of dumb but stupidly loyal goon, and he's very prominent, very powerful, and he's brilliantly voiced by David Kaye. So yeah, there's just so much to love about him. So let's take a look at him. He looks like no other Transformer you have, probably, and for good reason. He looked pretty unique in the show itself. He has one eye like Shockwave, but then he also has like these extra side eyes here. He also doesn't really have the typical like Transformers face. Instead, he's got this kind of like, I think, Eustace from Courage the Cowardly Dog type mouth, and their mouth is articulated and it's just wonderful, so he can praise Megatron to high heavens. And then he's got this big hunchback here and these big meaty arms that are really well articulated, like they're basically double jointed, and his fingers are articulated too. He's got two joints, one here and one in the actual like middle section, and then the thumb also articulates, so you can hold all type of things. Like here's a paintbrush. See, he can hold a paintbrush. Isn't that just incredible? And the deco is really cool. He has this kind of like World War II aesthetic where he has like shark teeth painted on, and LU6 NU7, which is obviously Lugnut, and he also has that tattooed here and here. So really unique, really unique transformation in general. And then he's got this Reveal the Shield insignia where so the gimmick for this line, Reveal the Shield, was you supposedly didn't know if they were Decepticon or Autobots, so what you have to do is you have to just rub it a little bit and boom, you see the Decepticon logo. Personally, I think Lugnut would proudly display a Decepticon symbol because he's probably the most loyal Decepticon of all time. So maybe, I mean, like here it looks like a Decepticon insignia would fit in really well, so I might just put a decal on him at some point. Furthermore, he's got a really nice color scheme with this beautiful purple and this kind of like greenish color. In the show, he's a little bit more purple, but I think I don't really mind the color scheme being the way it is. There is a purple Takara variant, but then I think too much became purple. Like his head should definitely still be this color instead of purple. And I just think he looks, I don't know, all the colors just look really nice the way they are right now. I also love these kind of like nuke decals on these, what are these called, like engines, I guess? And he's got like little subtle highlights everywhere. He also has this action gimmick where he can like punch things, so boom. Lugnut in the show had a move literally called Poke, which is short for Punch of Kill Everything. And it's basically just a really jet-powered punch that can leave a gigantic blast zone. And I think it's really cool that they added that as a little mini gimmick. I'm not really a fan of action gimmicks in the first place, but this is so harmless and doesn't change anything about the articulation at all. So yeah, brilliant move again. Again, everything about this guy is absolutely brilliant. I also really love these feet. So they're really stable because they're so long. and he balances really well, but it's also, look, it's like a true ball joint, so he can use it as an ankle rocker and everything. I think his legs are, like, I've seen some people collapse the legs completely, so they look a little bit more natural, but I personally think it looks a little bit too stumpy if you do that. So I just chose to extend them, give him some more height, because I think Lugnut should be like as tall as possible too, because he is like he's like the big Decepticon bruiser. He's really thick as it is, but you just want to give him like all the presence that he's capable of. So transforming him is really fun as well. I don't really ever transform my figures because I find it to be kind of annoying, but Lugnut is probably like the rare exception because he's so much fun. I haven't really done this in years, so this might be a bit messy, but I remember it being really fun. So what you want to do is just, you want to straighten out the arms, then you fold the panels like so, and I think you turn these around, yeah, and the fingers all slot into little pegs essentially to keep everything nice and secure. And his wings are completed, then this entire back piece comes off like so. So originally I was a little bit worried when I saw the initial review because I thought there was like this huge gap, but if you just shove this in, this entire like hunchback part like straightens itself out, so it looks like a natural hunchback. He also oh yeah, I forgot to mention, he also has this little missile here that you can just cover up like so. Apparently this gets lost really easily. I recently checked eBay and he's really expensive, and a lot of people happily tote that he still got the missile because apparently that's a thing that's missing a lot of the time. But I would never sell this guy because I love him too much. So then his head hides here, I think. Pull this back. Something, I think you pull this entire thing backwards, like so. Make sure this tab lines up, and then how do you make this stay in? Probably, oh, like so. You just hide this head, and then the undercarriage. What do we do here? So you just move this entire like belly like so, and boom, you flip this thing up too, and now you have a awesome World War II-esque bomber. And just look at this thing. Have you ever seen a Transformer look like this before? Lugnut is just the best because he's so utterly unique in terms of both transformation, general character design, and his alt mode. Everything about him is just perfect. And I don't really ever Transformer figures in general, but when I buy Transformers I still want them to be able to just kind of as a thing. I might as well show it off now because this is my favorite part about the entire transformation. So you wouldn't think that these like skinny little wings would turn into like substantial arms, but they really do when you just untab everything here, spin it around, flip it, and just fold this panel here that gives so much more weight to the bicep, and then this big chunk here, of course. However, the thing is, it doesn't just stop there, because he is, you wouldn't believe it, but he is so articulated that he can get in all these really cool poses. Like, he's one of the most expressive Transformers I know. Like, he can literally do the freaking superhero landing if he wants to. Like, this is just fast, but he is just, oh, I love him so much. I'm sorry this isn't like a really productive review or anything, but I've always kind of wanted to do a little showcase of this figure just because he means a lot to me on a personal level. I will say that this missile is a little bit annoying though. Sorry for this very random little video, but reveal the shield Lugnut. But like I said, my favorite mainline Transformer, probably, like, I haven't done anything to him because I think he's pretty much perfect. At least out of the box, he's definitely my favorite Transformers figure of all time. He is just incredible. He's glorious.
I will not hide. I will stand proudly and shout Megatron's name to the heavens! hands! Autobots, show yourselves cowards, and face your doom! We have come for our glorious leader, Megatron! Oh, Master, I am not worthy. I am not worthy.